lot of people with strong technical, like academic backgrounds, and that's the world that they've lived in.
Yeah.
And I've had a very, excuse me, visceral reaction to that since leaving the world of academia. And yeah, speaking to normal people, aka normal customers, is very different.
All right, we should get into our slow pace already.
Slow pace. All right, I'm following you.
All right, we gotta let the traffic come through. The last thing I want is to die under the grill
and catch it on camera.
On camera, getting hit by a Kia.
And that was the end of the series. That was the last episode.
All right, Denise, we learned a little bit about Anteros on the elevator, what you're building. Tell me a little bit about who you're building it for. Who's your ideal customer?
Our ideal customer is people in heterosexual or homosexual relationships that are in monogamous, long-term committed relationships. So this kit is not something you take after, you know, your Tinder or Hinge date. It's not a one-night stand situation, but more so for people that have kind of struggled with these conditions for quite some time.
Okay, and how big of a populace is that? How big is that group?
Well, it turns out Americans love to have intercourse. So out of the 300 plus million people, ages 18 to 40, about 75 million of those are sexually active, and about half of those have struggled with at least one case of a sexual health condition.
Wow, it's that large.
But again, just like with any scientific innovation, just like with any journey of building out better therapeutics, we have to start somewhere. And so, although I can understand some of the hesitation from the community or people that learn about our company, my immediate response is, well, where should we start? And I just refuse to accept.
That's a great question. It's like, well, where would you propose we start?
Right, because what we've seen on the market is, okay, you come in and you get treated for your symptoms, right? The frequency in urination, the itchiness, the whatever. And this happens all across healthcare, where I just got blindly prescribed antibiotics over the phone like it was candy. I now know that that is actually malpractice. You're not supposed to do that without identifying what the disease or infection is, nonetheless, what the specific strains of microbes are, because you have to target those correctly. And so again, I was young, I was ignorant at the time, because again, I get questions all the time like, why did you take all those antibiotics? Because I trusted my doctor, because I trusted my nurse practitioner at the time. And so again, because it goes much, much farther beyond sexual pleasure, because some of these people are married and are in that age group of family planning, you can't even think about that if you haven't solved the first issue.
Absolutely.
We just wrapped up filming, which was really fun for the series. I got some really good feedback. First female founder to record for their YouTube series. Great guys out in the Boston area. Tommy, thank you so much for joining us. You guys will see the full episode, I think, on their channel and on our channel if you get permission to post it. But otherwise, we got lunch, so I gotta go meet Blue Cross Blue Shield in a couple minutes and bang out the rest of the day. But yeah, thank you guys for following along. I don't know, is this a day in the life of a founder journey? This is not a typical day in the life, but sometimes we get to do exciting stuff like this. So, I don't know, just happy to be here. So, see you guys in the next one, or at the next event, because we're launching events soon. So, bye. Updates, updates, updates. What do we have? We're not even like done with the week, but we are trying to, I guess, set up a good cadence to film. So it's gonna be very interesting. Tommy and I were just talking about the weather getting warmer, so thank goodness. Today, oh, watch out, don't die. We're in the city, sorry. You could have caught the liability on camera.
It would have been totally my fault.
Well, no, because we had the crosswalk.
It was like 2 seconds.
Okay, we had the crosswalk. Are New Englanders actually as nice as people say? This is the series 1, episode 1. This is what we're debunking today. Like, forget the brand content. We're just trying to figure out how nice people are doing good. Quarter 1 has been interesting in the sense that I feel like I haven't just been able to like get into a good routine. Like, I feel like we got back from Christmas and I've just been like, go, 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 go. And normally that's okay if I have some structure in my schedule. See, we're both gonna die during this vlog. Maybe this isn't the best neighborhood to record in, but nonetheless. No, I feel like I've just really been struggling trying to get into a routine. Like, I've never had difficulty like showing up to the gym consistently, and it's just been like a pain. It's just been like so painful trying to get everything done during the day, and then like waking up on time, and then like going out in the evening. Like, it's just too much. So I'm trying to like be nice to myself and just be like, you know what? Hi. It's currently like not my season to do all this structuredness. We're gonna make a left, Tommy. And I think that's been the most challenging, like on a personal level, which obviously affects how we're able to show up for the startup. And in addition to that, I feel like the team has also equally like just been super entangled with everything going on outside of the startup. So we're trying our best, we're showing up, we're trying to keep ourselves accountable, but yeah, it's tough when this year is like really pivotal and there's a lot of pressure involved. It's like external and internal pressure. So I don't know. I think that part in and of itself has been difficult. We still got to kick off with the FDA this year. I still got to prep for like fundraising, which is a whole like entanglement. I don't even know what to call it, like in and of itself. So I think there's just a lot of like different challenges because they're very new. So I'm trying to, again, be kind to myself and be like, you know what, fuck it, like we're gonna do it anyway because so we have to start somewhere. Like I don't have a choice. These things are kind of mandatory. Trying to bring in new interns as well. So it's like onboarding, prepping, training them. Again, it's fun to me because I love leading people, I love management, but it's just, these are just like really time consuming things. And I'm currently in a phase where I'm like, I just don't feel like there's enough time in the day. And I know everybody says, oh, well, we all got the same 24 hours. And yes, come on, but I can also be tired during those 24 hours. So I'm like, listen, I've pushed myself to work 16, 18-hour days like consistently, especially like during undergrad. But yeah, this is just like a different era. I don't know how to describe the work, but it is very different. So like it's like a different type of struggle. I'm getting nervous. I've never interviewed people in public. What if they throw their coffee at me? What if they're mean to me? I'm over here getting worried about getting cyberbullied. What if people start attacking us in public? It's like, hey guys, we're just trying to get content. Testing, testing. We're live. Let's go. Okay. Alrighty. Testing, testing. Hey guys. We're interviewing folks for our channel about relationship advice. Do you have a minute?
I don't know. I'm like scared to be on camera a little bit. Do you want to do it? I want to put you on the spot.
Sure,
Yeah?
I'll give it a shot.
Alright, no worries.
Is it guaranteed to go up?
Yeah, most likely. It's
I'll
a brand
give it
new
a shot.
channel. There's no people on it. Alright.
Sure.
Alrighty. What's your best relationship advice?
I would say I think patience is really key. It's really important to really hear out what the other person is feeling and to understand that progress isn't always linear. So you should have that kind of patience to understand that if they take what you perceive to be a step back, to trust that they're still working on it.
Got it. Okay. And what do you think are some mishaps when it comes to disagreements that couples normally struggle with?
Well, I would go back to the lack of patience. I also sometimes think that when people get heated, they tend to kind of take the worst interpretation of what the other person is saying. So that makes it pretty easy to kind of hit back, and like be a little bit punchy in your response. And then that causes even more disagreements and it kind of gets all the way out of hand. So,
Okay. And then last question is, what advice do you have for younger individuals in new relationships?
how young are we talking?
Let's say early to mid 20s.
All right. So yeah, that's us. I mean, really.
Same advice, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess similar
What are we missing in today's relationships?
I think there's a lot of people on like TikTok, especially, who try to apply everything to like a theory or to some kind of like I keep using the word punchy, but like punchy advice, you know. And so I think taking a step back and kind of analyzing the situation, what you really want to get, what your goals are, instead of like something like, I don't know, a 3-month rule, a 3-date rule. Like, try to live your life as your life instead of like what somebody online tells you you should be doing.
That was beautiful. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. What's your name? Denisa. Nice to meet you. All right. That's all I got. We didn't get coffee thrown at us, so you're for our first interview. I appreciate you guys.
You were the first one that didn't go.
No. I would be doing a very poor job at that point. Thank you guys. The goal for today was to go out and do in-person interviews out in the streets of Boston for the channel. And I think we were pretty successful. We didn't come in with like a super stringent game plan, which was really interesting. And sometimes I think like doing things off the cuff is or produces the best results. So we essentially just walked up to people while we were walking downtown and asked them what their best relationship advice was, in addition to common pitfalls, traits, characteristics, and advice for the newer generation. So we kept it really broad and on the topic of couples and relationships. I think as we progress or find new destinations and locations, we might switch up some of the questions. So we'll take you guys through the behind the scenes of that. But you'll see Tommy and I probably running up to people, trying to scout them out in the wild. There were definitely some rejections. I think different people are camera shy for different reasons, and that's okay. But nonetheless, the majority of the people greeted us with a lot of joy and respect. So I had a lot of fun today. I didn't have any expectations, and I normally don't for this type of stuff, and I think that's the best way to go into new experiences. We actually got a couple good golden nuggets, so I hope that you guys enjoy some of the responses from both older and newer couples. So yeah, I think we're gonna head back home now. We got a ton of work to catch up on. I'm sure lots of editing, post-production to do as well, and we'll see you guys at the next event or at the next hunt down.
Like, have you heard the 6-second kiss or 10 or is it 15-second hug?
No.
So like
This is a game?
No, it's the Gottman Institute. They studied love and relationships. And there's a lot of cool data they have. Not that there's much data on it in general, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 6-second kiss is the most connected way to like kiss your partner. It's not like every time you kiss it has to be 6 seconds, but when you
Yeah.
do that,
Is it at least 6 seconds, or is 6 seconds like the prime, like peak
I
number?
think it's at least, but I feel like,
I think it was at least.
you're like, this is weird, but
Is that because I think I read this too?
like your brain slows down in that time frame to like be present in the moment, whereas like a peck just doesn't give you
Yeah.
time.
I think you have enough time to release, what was it? It was either oxytocin or serotonin. So
Kind of endorphins and,
yeah.
like, the pleasure stuff in your brain. But yeah, I think it's like 15-second hug. I forgot how long the hug is, but I know that kiss is 6.
Okay.
Also has a good range to a 6-second kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes
Hug.
sense. I know they do the like you have to like stare in each other's eyes for like some amount of time.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That one's harder for me. I'm like, I don't.
The eye contact's intense,
I
yeah.
feel like if we're kissing it so, and we're intentionally timing it, I will have a panic attack.
What do you mean?
That's hilarious. There's just too much happening.
But like, I don't know.
What is it called? Like the AA meetings where it's like, hi, my name is my name is Denisa. I had 3 for acts of service and 1 for quality time.
Wow, that is.
I told you I'm an acts of service girly. I called it out. You wanna go this way? Okay, next.
So if we've chosen multiple.
That's fine.
Okay.
You have to start with your name though.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shweta. I have one for words of affirmation,
Okay.
one for receiving gifts, 3 for acts of service, and 2 for quality time.
It's a lot of math there.
Yeah.
You're pretty well distributed out. Yeah, you're good.
I'm like, I needed one of those because
She's like, I don't want to give off the wrong impression here.
I need my words of affirmation.
Yeah, I do have a very skewed result. My name is Pranay. I have 3 for physical touch.
Ooh.
I have 1 for acts of service and 1 for words of affirmation.
Okay.
I'm Monty. I have 1 for words of affirmation, 1 for receiving gifts, 1 for acts of service, and 2 for quality time.
Period. Okay.
Hello, I'm Jay, and I have 1 for words of affirmation, 2 for acts of service, 1 for quality time, and 1 for physical touch.
Ooh. That might be the most well-rounded one. Okay. Okay.
One away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Haley. Actually kind of have it a little bit all over the place, but I got 2 for words of affirmation, and then 1 for everything but quality time, which is 0.
Okay.
But I do know myself, I'm a words of affirmation girl for sure.
Love that.
Hi,
B.
for Linda, I have 0 for words of affirmation. I have 1 for receiving gifts, 2 for acts of service, 4 for quality time. That was a shock to me. And 0 for physical touch.
Did you learn something new about yourself?
I did learn something new about
Aw.
myself. I thought I was more acts of service, but doing this, I was like, no, I do enjoy quality time.
Okay, I love that. Oh, thank you guys. I still have weaponized incompetence on my quiz. Was yours a shock to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was imagining each scenario. I'm like, I would like this in each of that. And when I did the math, I'm like, no.
That is real. I didn't think this was gonna be a shock to people, but okay, I'm pleasantly surprised. Were you shocked by your results?
Yeah, I would have imagined myself as somebody who would broadly choose the physical touch as an attribute over others.
Yeah.
But when I was filling, I did not necessarily see the brackets. I was just filling in what came closest to what I was thinking at that point in time. And I think physical proximity, physical touch might be something that has just become very important.
Understood.
In my life.
I mean, I guess these things can change over time. Kind of like, have you guys ever read the book Attached on different attachment styles? Oh, I would highly recommend. No, I think it's really good knowledge even for people that are currently partnered and single people as well. So they conducted various studies actually on children, and they had like 3 different studies where they basically assess what happened to the baby after their parent left the room and how they responded to that. So I think they're probably plugged up to some heart monitor to gauge stress levels, and then obviously observing if the baby started crying or if they were quiet. So based off of their analysis, that's how they grouped anxious, avoidance, and like secure attachment styles. And apparently some people's hypothesis is that it can range as early as childhood, depending on your relationship with your parents, which then manifests into your relationships. But the caveat there is that your attachment style can change based off of external factors and the people that you're currently dating. So you might be secure today, but if you date somebody that's really clingy and anxious, you might also become anxious over time. So this is like a dynamic thing that's not really like set in stone. So I'm wondering if it's the same for like love languages, where you might value certain things today based off of maybe your attachment style, but it might alter based off of what your partner is used to, or you know? So I think they might both be correlated in some way, or dynamic.
I know for myself, I'm not a physical touch person at all. But when I've dated someone who was physical touch, all of a sudden I like need physical touch.
So yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
there's
really
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
age of 40 reduced
Yes.
significantly. So
There's
how do you-
hormone health, fertility planning, nutrition. It's all the same type of technology. And that's why I mentioned that previously. A lot of the raise is going to go to building out the platform so we can test for different biomarkers. Because I'm like, okay, if you're going to go through the testing, the swabbing, and then you're still going through this manual process, I might as well give you as much data as I can in one swab. Oh my gosh, I'm tired, y'all. I'm like, it's only March. Like, I'm exhausted. I am exhausted.